Hello YouTube. Yeah, just doing a video as much to amuse myself as anything else. Interesting the way your finger gets through the lines like that. I need a holder for it. YouTube. You know, it took me months, if not years, before I realised the YouTube symbol was a button that you click on to get back to your homepage. I know it's meant to be a play symbol, but I never thought it was a button. Not quite sure what it actually does. It just takes you back to your homepage, but that's different if you're signed in from when you're not signed in. Definitely instructive though, going into YouTube through a private browser window and seeing what the rest of the world's seeing. Very often not what you expect. Just playing around with a Parker Rollerball here. Still can't work out what earth the top bit's for. Just to show you, this section here at the top actually rotates for some reason through 90 degrees. It doesn't change anything. Best guess is it's meant to clamp against the clip there. But why you would want to clamp against the clip, I don't know. Because again, logically, a clip like that, if you're putting it in a pocket, can only go in that way. So that would mean the top is sticking out your pocket. And given that it's a roller book ball, that's going to get awfully messy. Anyway, back to YouTube. I've seen a lot of YouTube channels struggling to get views despite putting out quality content. I've also seen a lot of people obsessing over subscriber count when really it's the views you should be interested in if you want a successful channel. There's plenty of channels with small subscriber counts but high numbers of views. And also the other way around, lots of subscribers but very few views. Most of the people who go on YouTube, I suspect, don't ever subscribe. I didn't. I spent years watching YouTube videos, never subscribed, never liked, never logged in. In fact, I didn't even have a channel. I sort of got this channel by accident. I had an account long before it was owned by Google. And then Google changed the rules so that you had to get a channel if you, I think if it was an update or something. If you clicked on a link, or it asked you to put in a channel name, and if you clicked on that link, you've had a channel, even if you'd previously only had an account. So I clicked on the button once by accident, and so I've got a channel. Not something I've ever done much with. If I wanted to grow it, what I would do is follow the diversity in comics model, which is to say, upload 3 times a day, 10-minute videos, don't bother with editing, make sure I cough at the start, of course, and just do some random speculation about a specialist topic. And have a Twitter account so that people can DM me. Now, the interesting thing is, came across Scifi4me TV a couple of months back when Midnight's Edge mentioned them. They've been on for 10 years on YouTube. doing, I suppose you could call it professional grade content. It's in this professional style. Regular videos, proper mic, steady camera. Coming mostly from the podcast tradition, and there's a radio tradition. So regular guests and so on. And 1,700 subscribers. Most of their videos, though, don't reach 40 views. I sat and went through like hundreds of their videos just while I was at work, working from home at the moment, like most of the West, apart from New Zealand, where they had the good sense to shut the borders. But I just play it in the background, and it's perfectly decent content, just no one's looking at it. And the curious thing was that some of the people they have on, I knew about. So they do a regular show with the Travelling the Vortex podcasters. That's a Doctor Who podcast, which I used to follow, and followed them for several years. Yeah. I knew they were doing some sort of co-production thingy, but never come across Sci-Fi4me TV. That's despite me searching for Travelling the Vortex and so on. Discovered recently, Sci-Fi4me TV, this channel doesn't come up if you search for sci-fi or even Sci-Fi4. You've got to type in Sci-Fi4, that's the number 4, me, all one word, before you get it. Why YouTube doesn't like it and doesn't think a channel dedicated to science fiction, which is what it's dedicated to, why YouTube doesn't think that should show when you search for science fiction or sci-fi or any combination, I don't know, but that's just the way it is. 10 years of trying though, and they've proven, beyond any reasonable doubt, that the mainstream approach just does not work. And that's interesting. See that one there? That's actually really squint. But on this camera, it doesn't look too bad. Anyway, given that they were taking the mainstream approach, I think it's fairly obvious why so many mainstream companies are going bust and why they're relying on clickbait and rage bait and anything they can to antagonise people to try and get some excitement. Because Sci-Fi4me, despite doing good quality content for 10 years, hasn't ever got much traction. Which is a shame, because they're actually really good. And Jason P. Hunt, the guy who's the editor-in-chief, is actually one of the best interviewers I've come across. If you want a good objective interview, someone is just going to actually find out what the person he's interviewing thinks. He's your man. So, where does that leave people who want to grow a channel quickly? I think, honestly, the answer is as much as in the search terms. And perhaps more importantly, the words you use to describe the content. I suspect words like game, excuse me, perhaps that's my equivalent to Zach's cough. I suspect words like game tend to show up on search lists or get searched more. There was a YouTuber a while back who was saying that one of the things to watch out for is if your channel gets the wrong tags attached to it. by chance his channel got the computer game tag attached to it from YouTube. Apparently just decided it was something to do with computer games. And when that happened, he got tons of viewers, even though he wasn't actually providing them the kind of content they were looking for. So, yeah, clickbait. Or at least clickbait titles. Do a Tim Pool, say the world is ending tomorrow. Possibly. Well, maybe not. But let's read this article and go through it together, and we'll find out. Yeah, I like Tim Pool. Strange little guy, but he is good at what he does. But the thing is, he's not as good as Scifi4me TV is. I would much rather listen to Jason Hunt interview someone than Tim Pool, because I know Jason will actually just go through things properly. So, anyway. Yeah, that's the Parker Rollerball. And that's my current empty thoughts on YouTube. Bye. See ya. Regards.